This is possibly the best upgrade you can do to your Game Boy Color today. Today I'm repairing my Game Boy Color and removing the old TFT screen and replacing it with a brand new OLED panel. It features perfect colours, blacks and even a touchscreen. Today I'm going to show you how to install it yourself and some of its best features. So without further ado, let's get into the install. So this is the console that I'm going to be fixing up today. It is a green Game Boy Color. There is some tape on the back of the console because the battery cover's broken, and obviously the screen is completely destroyed. To fix the shell of the console, I purchased a brand new clear transparent blue version. It comes with of course the blue shell, as well as some black buttons and some colourful button membranes. To fix the old screen, I've gone for an OLED panel from High-Speedio. It comes with of course the screen and the driver board, as well as some adhesive tape to keep the wires in place. There is also an included plastic cutout, which prevents the screen from shorting to any other pieces on the console. We can now begin installing all of our new parts onto the console. I'll begin by removing the tape holding on my battery cover. Then I'll remove the batteries from the console. Then I'll get out my iFixit screwdriver kit and get a tri-wing screwdriver to remove the screws holding on the back cover. There are 6 of these tri-wing screws on the back of the console and they all need to be removed. Then we can simply clip off the back cover of the console. There are then 3 Phillips head screws holding down the main PCB. Once those have been removed, we can then take our attention to the top ribbon cable, which is holding in the screen. Go ahead and unclip the latches and pull the ribbon cable out. Before we finish this project, it's time for a quick word from today's video sponsor, PCBWay. Projects such as this one would really not be possible without the use of PCBs. If you don't already know, PCB stands for printed circuit board, and it's the best way by far to clean up and organise your electronic projects. PCBWay offer great prices on PCB printing and board assembly. They're always my go-to when doing projects like this, and really a lot of my projects would not have been possible without them. Not only do they offer PCB services, they also offer 3D printing and CNC machining. Basically, if you need something doing for a project, PCBWay can do it for you. To get one of your PCBs made professionally, simply head over to their website and give them the Gerber files, and within a few days, depending on your location, you'll have a brand new PCB printed. As always, thanks again to PCBWay for sponsoring this video and allowing me to do great projects like this one. Now that I've paid the bills, let's get back into the Game Boy build. Then we can free the motherboard from the shell and move over to our new blue custom clear shell. The first thing that we need to install in the shell is the new OLED panel. We'll begin by removing the adhesive on the back of the screen, and then we'll insert the screen into the new shell at an angle. This OLED panel is very fragile, so make sure not to apply too much pressure to the screen whilst installing it. Next we need to prepare the driver board by soldering a wire to the point labelled BAT. Add some flux and reheat the solder to add your wire. As with any soldering job, we want to make sure to clean the flux from the PCB with some isopropyl alcohol. Now we need to position the driver board on top of the screen, making sure to push the cable through the hole in the PCB. We'll then plug in the cable, once again making sure not to apply too much pressure onto the screen. It's now time to install the buttons and button membranes into the new shell. I opted to use the black ones that were included with my shell. Next we need to install the insulating plastic to the back of the screen. This acts as a barrier to prevent any shorts happening when we reassemble the console. Next we can reseat the motherboard on top of the screen and then screw in the 3 Phillips head screws to hold the board down. Next we need to connect the other end of our red wire to the power switch on the motherboard. This is the 3rd pin to the left and it is labelled C. We can add some flux, pre-tin it, and then connect the other end of our red wire to it. I'll then cut off a piece of the included Kapton tape and use it to hold the wire down in place. Then we need to reconnect the top ribbon cable to the port on the motherboard. Finally, we need to install the infrared cover as well as the power button slider. Once those are both installed, we can then put on the back shell again and screw in the 6 tri-wing screws to hold it down. Then we can add 2 AA batteries and the battery cover and turn on the console. And there we go, we now have a OLED screen. And this is the completed Game Boy Color. I did have a purple shell as well, but to be honest I'm glad I went with the transparent one. To fully test the screen out, of course we need to load up a game, so I'll be using my Easy Flash cartridge, video coming soon, and we'll load up Tetris to see how everything looks. A game like this really shows off what the screen can do in terms of the colour range. To access the settings of the screen, we'll hold on the screen, and then this blue menu will pop up. Here we can click on the arrows next to the different options and change settings such as brightness, colour mode and pixel effects. Because this screen has so many more pixels than the original, we can actually emulate the original pixel look on this new OLED panel. We can also change the position of the content on the screen, and my personal favourite feature is the logo colour. This is actually not a set of LEDs, this is an extension of the OLED panel. We can set the Game Boy Color logo to any colour we want. I went for the white option as I think it contrasts nicely with my blue shell. I'm really impressed with how this mod turned out, and it's definitely one that I would recommend to anyone who has an old Game Boy Color. Although millions of people remember playing these with the original non-backlit screens, I think with the modern standards today, it's nice to be able to have a bit more of a premium product. For someone like me who maybe wants to play this console in bed or in a darker environment, having a backlit screen is a must. And that's it for today's video. But I'm not done with this console yet, and I do have some more videos coming soon. Of course, the Easy Flash cartridge, and some other little mods which I think will make this console a little bit closer to modern standards. As always, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future uploads, give the video a like, and leave me a comment letting me know what you think of this mod. As always, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.